It's been great. It's been professional, which I really appreciate. Everything is, you can tell it's a fine-tuned machine. Everything is everything. So I've been feeling pretty good, and I'm excited to go out there and put on a show.
Let's talk about promotion. Obviously,
Hmm.
everyone saw your public comments on the last promotion you were supposed to compete for. When you
Hmm.
think of someone who's so unprofessional in the way that that promotion was, and
Hmm.
then you come over to the PFL, how does that make you feel about not just your future, but the future of promotions outside? Like it's not
Hmm.
just the UFC, the PFL is legitimate business as well.
Yeah, and I want the PFL to succeed. I want these other promotions to succeed because at the end of the day, I am a fight fan. I was a fight fan before I was a fighter, and I really want to see the sport continue to grow. I predicted in January that if we don't do something now, the sport is going to start to plateau, and that's something that I'm hell bent on not happening. So I'm taking the right step this weekend by stepping up and fighting a guy who won last year's PFL championship. He's a former world champion. He's one of the top lightweights in the world, and once I beat him, then I rightfully take my place at the top of the division. It's been 5 years since I've been in this division, and I think I got a lot of questions that need to be answered.
Obviously, but you just said
Mhm.
5 years since you've been in this division. Most fighters would want to go, up and feel a little bit healthier. But what was
Sure.
the decision between 170 and 155?
Once I was free of my injuries, once I had the last surgery, and I was able to bounce back from that and come back, and I actually recovered better than I thought I did. When you go through these major surgeries like that, there does become a time where you're like, oh man, will I ever move the same again? Once I start moving the way that I used to move, uh that's when I made the decision, okay, I need to go back down. I'm able to keep up my workload. I'm able to run. I'm able to keep up the capacity that I need in order for me to reach this weight. And it that made it an easy decision. It wasn't to chase anybody. It wasn't to reclaim a lightweight title or get back to a world championship fight. It was more, where can I perform the best? And when I really break my career down and I look at my past fights and I look at the fights that I didn't show up my best, it was at 170, or it was at trying to take a little bit of the easier road. This is a hard sport. Uh, Weight cutting is the hardest part of the sport, no doubt. It's the that breaks a lot of fighters' careers, is the weight cutting. Um, but if I said I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do it the right way, and I'm going to do it like I always done, and that's what I've done this week.
Thing that stood out to me the most in our conversation was you said, I'm taking this fight not for a PFL tournament championship,
Mhm.
not for the money, but because I want to show I'm still one of the very best lightweights in the world.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you, taking a fight against somebody like Gadzhi, and then not only proving your place, but doing it in a new promotion?
It it means my motivations are different now. I'm not chasing what I used to chase when I was 22, 23, 24 years old. I've got a son now. I've got a daughter on the way. I'm a father, and this sport has made me a better person, and I'm able to see that, and it's going to continue to make me a better person, a better man, a better father. So that's going to be my legacy. My son is going to be my legacy. I don't care what all of these other people who barely even know me, what they're going to think. It's about what I can show him that you're capable of, even when you get broken down. And I've been broken in every way, physically, mentally, financially, whatever you want to say. I've been broken, but you can still build your way back up, and you can still chase your passion. You can still chase what you love, and you can still do this. And I'm going to show that on Friday night that I'm still here.
Feels like a moment briefly last one for me. I know during your time with the UFC,
Hmm.
Khabib ran the division for a very long time.
Yep.
Here you are going through trials and tribulations in life and in your career,
Yeah.
and now you're facing a member of his team who's also considered one of the very best.
Yeah.
Does this feel full circle and a not only an opportunity for you to cement yourself, but for you to send a statement to that team of where you stand?
Yeah, definitely. Especially the timing of it. Uh, it was 10 years ago that I fought my first Russian, Magomed Mustafayev, and I pretty much retired him. People don't remember, but that guy was on a super tear, and he was targeted to be the next big Russian up. I fought him in Belfast, Ireland, and Dan Hardy was actually commentating it, and I think that was my coming out party, and that was the first time where I really targeted Team Khabib, and that was 2015. It's 2025 now, and I finally get a chance to prove myself against these guys. And I go against one of their top guys, one of their guys that's been in their stable for a long time. And once I'm able to prove against him, then I wasn't all just talk for all these years. Uh, I think that team they do some good stuff, but they're not unbeatable. They're men, they bleed. And as soon as he feels my power, as soon as he feels my presence, as soon as he feels my hunger, I think he'll start to wilt. They're really good at being bullies, but I ain't never been bullied in my life. Not once.
Russian wrestling.
Hmm.
Good little emphasis for you. You're obviously a very good wrestler yourself, and
Yeah.
they're like, you know what? Let's go to your world. Let's go to our world, and let me show you what's best.
Yeah, there is a little bit of that, as a competitor. Um, and as an American, I mean, this is America versus Russia. And on the world stage, you see it playing out, but sports is always a microcosm of what's going on. And I think this fight is going to be a showcase of that. I'm the American boy. Um, Even if America don't want to accept me as that, I am. I'm born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I come from nothing. I built myself all the way up. I got knocked back down, and now I'm going to build myself up again. And I think that's the true American story. In American wrestling, I think is always dominated and will continue to dominate. Yeah, we might not have won no Olympic gold medals this last time, but wait a couple more years and we'll get it back. And I'm proud to be a part of that and to usher in that new era. He's got great wrestling, but I think my grappling on the ground is gonna be the deciding factor. I don't think he's ready for that. I don't think he's fought anybody with that level of technique on the ground. And he said, and I've heard him say in interviews that for you to put him out, you're gonna have to kill him. And I hope he's prepared for that. So he should be careful what he wishes for. Thank you.
All right, well, we'll move over to, did you have a question for Kevin?
Uh,
Awesome.
just got here.
Shoot it. I'm good. How are you?
So talk to me a little bit about your prep for this. What's
Yeah.
gone to get ready?
Yeah, I've been down in Florida for the last 3 years, with Kill Cliff FC. A lot of guys, a lot of talent in the room, a lot of experience in the room. Guys like Robbie Lawler have been heading the team now. And when you got great champions like that, Ong Song will be in my corner. A two division world champion at ONE FC. Uh, RDR has also been getting ready for his fight. I've been part of the camp of watching him prepare. Him in himself is an incredible fighter, and a lot of these guys just show the UFC isn't the only one with the top fighters and the top people. There's great fighters all around, and I learn from them every day. I'm a integral part of the team now, and yeah, I feel great. I've been very, very disciplined for this camp. Even if it's a short camp, I've been very disciplined and I've been very focused on what I got to do on Friday. The biggest challenge has probably been the weight. It's been 5 years since I've made this weight. A lot of people doubt that I'm gonna make the weight, but I'm gonna shut a lot of those doubters up first, and then I'm gonna prove them again wrong on Friday night when I go out there and put Gaethje's lights out. A lot of people counting me out. A lot of people forgot about me. A lot of people continue to forget about me in this sport. Do I blame them? No. It's been 5 years, so I don't necessarily blame them, but I'm here to remind them and here to tell them that I'm still here. Game plan is rest, relax, go back home, talk to my wife. She's pregnant right now. That's been my biggest support system. Um, and when everybody counts me out, the people that really matter are still there, and they really matter. There are going to be some changes that happen in my life. Um, and I've got a daughter on the way, so I've got a lot of things that you know really require my focus and my attention that I'll attend to after this fight. Mhm. Mhm.
Happens there as far as training and everything, or it's just
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. I don't. I when I go into a fight, I don't. I t- try not to look. I'm not looking past this guy at all. I'm not looking at the finals. I'm not looking at what the next camp's gonna be, who I'm gonna need to bring out. I'm not looking at nothing else. I'm totally focused on this guy. Uh, he said he's prepared to die when he goes in there, and that's my mindset too. So, will I even wake up on Sunday? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. You ask me these questions, but I really don't have a great answer for you because it's not that's not what's in my mind. What's in my mind is Friday night and making sure my body is prepared for what it's about to go through. Make sure it's prepared for the pain. Make sure it's prepared to walk out there victorious, regardless of whatever he brings to the table and whatever circumstance that happens. So I'm not even looking at what happens at midnight of that night. I'm totally focused on that night, and then I'll go back. I'll talk with my wife. I'll talk with my team, and we'll see what we do next. Thank you. Yeah, anytime. Yes, sir. Yeah, I think my experience is what separates me, and my attributes too. I'm a longer, bigger, stronger fighter. So, some things are God given, and you can't there's nothing that he can do to make up for those attributes. Not only that, but my experience. I've fought a lot of top guys in this division. When you start talking about guys like Charles Oliveira, Edson Barboza, Tony Ferguson, I fought a lot of guys with that have been at a world championship level, and I've been at that level. So I don't think that he's been there yet. I don't think that he's felt that fire yet. And once he feels after the first few exchanges that I'm still there and I'm still pushing forward and I'm still coming after him, it's going to be a totally different level than he's not prepared for. I don't see any part of the fight where he holds a big advantage. He's fast. He's technical with his boxing, which I think people overlook. He's one of the most technical boxers in the sport. But besides that, I think I've run away with everything else. Yeah. Yeah, I did go through a period after my last fight in the UFC that I took totally injured. My knee was ripped to shreds and facing another surgery where I was like, man, do I want to still do this? Like I've been doing this a long time, there's other ways to make money. My brother is a big inspiration for me in the other sense of life. He's become this huge star, doing something else. So I know that door is open for me, but I'm not ready to walk through it yet. I still got so many questions that need to be answered for myself. I Like I said, my motivations are different. I don't do it for nobody else. I'm not doing it for the fanfare. I'm not doing it if anybody else give a damn. I don't care. Like I'm doing it for me and who I can become and what potential that I can reach to. Uh I've had some great coaches. I had a great coach that a lot of people know, Robert Follis, who passed away after my first world title fight. Um After I lost that fight, he killed himself, but he really believed in me and he really believed that I could be a world champion. I was this close to getting there, and I feel like I let him down. And those are the memories that I got to carry on, that I got to keep going through with. And I got to correct and right those wrongs before I'm able to hang this up. You ain't seen me lay down my gloves in the octagon yet. Once you see that time, then you're gonna see and you're gonna know that I was a world champion even before they put the belt on me. They gonna see some fire. They gonna see some fire.
All right, we're only gonna take a couple from our Zoom. Anik, can you
Sorry
please
about
start
that.
us off?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're good, Kevin. Thank you.
Yeah, you said me.
Yep, Anik, go right ahead.
Kevin, obviously you've been through so much, but it's made you the man you are today. What's the biggest lesson you've learned from the last couple of years that you plan to teach your daughter when she's born?
Consistency and resilience can get you anything you want in life. Being consistent and just keep going, keep going. Don't treat this like a sprint. Don't treat this like I gotta have it right now, like delaying that gratification. And I know people talk about it, but it's different when you put it into real experience, into real life experience. And to be able to delay that gratification and just say, okay, I don't know why I'm running these miles right now, but I'm gonna keep running them because it's gonna get me to where I need to be. I think that can accomplish anything in life, in any facet of life. I hope my children never have to fight the way I have. Um, and I'm gonna make sure that they don't.
Thank you, Kevin. All the best.
Thank you.
Shady.
Kevin,
Appreciate
Shady
that a
Trey with
lot.
MMA Dungeon. How you doing, sir?
I'm good.
You brought him up briefly. Your brother Keith, he's basically the undisputed champ of food reviews, and you also run an incredible food truck by the name of Braised Restaurants. A shout out to your food truck. Talk to
Yes.
me about that dynamic. Are you avoiding Keith and the food truck during camp, or is it all fair game?
Yeah, I shut down the food truck for this camp. It's taken an incredible amount of focus on me. I think there are people in Florida that are a little bit upset by that. A lot of people. I had some regulars that I tended to a lot. But they've got to understand, that there's a bigger purpose in life. And this has taken an incredible amount of focus. So I didn't want to split that focus at all. Um, Cooking and being a chef is something that I really aspire to. And it's something that I want to continue to grow and eventually blend the two in my life. Um, I think we can put on some incredible events. I think we can really start to have some fun once this fight is all said and done.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. Congratulations on the baby.
Thank you, sir.
Last question, Jaden.
Hi, what's up, Kevin? Kevin, you face top level talent like Ferguson, Oliveira, and RDA. How do you see Gadzhi stacking up against the level of competition?
Without actually getting my hands on him and just from watching film, I would say he's closest to RDA probably in his level of skill and technique. RDA is a very technical fighter with an incredible amount of experience. He's a world champion and has beaten a lot of guys. I mean, RDA, dismantled Robbie Lawler. Um, I would say he's probably up there with him, but again, before I actually put my hands on him, it's hard for me to say.
All right, and then also last question: if Gadzhi is watching this right now, what are a few words you'd like to say to him?
God, you better be ready. He better be ready. He better be hungry. He better be not resting on his morals and think this is going to be an easy fight. Um, he's in for the hardest fight of his life, and I hope he's ready for that.
All right,
He
thank you.
said I'd have to kill him, and that's exactly what I plan on doing. Will I kill him? No, absolutely not. I'm not going to try to, but I will try and separate his consciousness. And if he slips up for even 1 second, if he has any lack of focus or lack of judgment, then I'm gonna kick him as hard as I can with my shin against his head. If you feel my bones right now, that my bones feel like steel. I mean, the weight cut has been incredible on what it's done in my body, and I'm gonna swing a baseball bat as hard as I can towards his head and separate him from his consciousness.